The auction room air hung heavy with the scent of stale coffee and whispered desperation. Each staccato bang of the auctioneer's gavel felt like a hammer striking my chest, shattering the last fragments of my shattered life. On the enormous screen at the front, a vibrant photograph of our dream home, the place Liam and I had painstakingly designed and filled with a decade of memories, rotated slowly. It was being sold. Not by us, but by them. My fiancé, Liam, and my supposed best friend, Chloe, had orchestrated this behind my back, leaving me financially gutted and utterly adrift. Liam, standing beside Chloe in the front row, occasionally glanced back at me, a flicker of cruel satisfaction in his eyes. He thought he had won. He thought he had pulled off the perfect betrayal, leaving me with nothing but shattered trust. But as the final bid was accepted and the gavel descended with a resounding thud, a cold, unwavering certainty settled within me. He had no idea that for weeks, every whispered secret, every clandestine meeting, every illicit transaction had been meticulously recorded, forming an irrefutable mountain of evidence that would soon ensure their spectacular public downfall. For 10 years, my life was intertwined with Liam, my fiancé, and Chloe, my best friend. They were my world, my chosen family. We built a life, a dream home, and a future together. But behind a facade of unwavering loyalty, they systematically dismantled my existence, betraying my trust and leaving me financially devastated. This is the story of how I, Sophia Miller, painstakingly gathered the undeniable proof of their betrayal and meticulously planned a clever, technological revenge that ensured their complete financial ruin and public humiliation. Live for everyone to witness. My name is Sophia Miller, and for the better part of a decade, my life revolved around two people, Liam, my fiancé, and Chloe, my best friend. Liam and I met in university, two ambitious young idealists navigating the complexities of our chosen fields. He, a rising star in real estate development, and I, a dedicated architect. Our connection was immediate, built on shared dreams, late-night study sessions, and an unshakable belief in a future we would build together. Our relationship blossomed, deepening with each passing year. We envisioned a life filled with laughter, professional success, and a home that was truly ours, a sanctuary from the world's demands. We spent years saving, meticulously planning, and finally, 5 years ago, we poured our combined savings, our hopes, and every ounce of our creative energy into building our dream home. It was a modern architectural marvel, designed by my own hands, with sweeping windows, an open concept layout, and a sprawling garden that we envisioned growing old in. It was more than just a house. It was the tangible manifestation of our shared future, a symbol of our commitment and our love. Chloe entered my life even earlier. We met in elementary school, two shy girls who quickly became inseparable. She was the sister I never had, my confidant, my sounding board. We navigated adolescence, university challenges, and the complexities of early adulthood together. She was always there, through thick and thin, celebrating my triumphs and consoling my heartbreaks. When Liam and I got engaged, Chloe was my immediate choice for maid of honor. She was equally excited about our wedding plans, often joining us for evenings of planning, laughter, and shared dreams. She even helped us choose the furniture for our dream home, her taste impeccable, her advice always valued. She was part of our unit, an essential pillar in the foundation of my life. Our lives were incredibly intertwined. Liam, Chloe, and I formed a tight-knit trio. We vacationed together, celebrated holidays, and supported each other through professional setbacks. I saw them as two of the most important people in my world, pillars of my emotional and financial security. We even had joint investments, a small but growing portfolio that Liam, with his supposed real estate acumen, managed for us. He assured me it was a smart way to grow our shared future. My trust in both of them was absolute. Unwavering. I would have literally given them the shirt off my back. The first hint of trouble, a subtle discord in the symphony of our lives, began about 6 months before the planned wedding. Liam started becoming increasingly distant. He claimed work pressures, late-night meetings, and urgent travel. His phone, once openly left on the table, was now guarded. He seemed preoccupied, his eyes often elsewhere, even when we were together. I dismissed it as pre-wedding stress, the natural anxieties of two busy professionals preparing for a massive life change. Chloe, too, seemed somewhat withdrawn. She canceled our weekly coffee dates, citing a sudden increase in workload at her marketing firm. I understood, of course. We were all busy, focused on our careers and the exciting future ahead. I confided in Chloe about Liam's distance, seeking her usual comforting advice. She listened patiently, offering generic reassurances, but her usual warmth was replaced by a strange, almost nervous tension. I attributed it to her own stress, perhaps even feeling the pressure of her maid of honor duties. Then came the red flags, no longer subtle. There were discrepancies in Liam's schedule. He'd say he was at a client meeting across town, but his car's GPS history, which I occasionally checked for directions to his office, would show him in a completely different neighborhood, often near Chloe's apartment. He started receiving hushed phone calls, stepping out of the room to talk. Our joint investment account, which I trusted Liam to manage, showed unusual activity, large withdrawals, unexplained transfers to unfamiliar accounts. When I asked him about them, he became defensive, irritable, accusing me of not trusting him, of being too controlling. He told me it was aggressive investment strategy and diversifying assets. I wanted to believe him. I desperately wanted to believe him. The thought of betrayal from either of them was so far-fetched, so utterly devastating, that my mind actively resisted it. I loved Liam, and Chloe was my sister. My entire world was built around them. The idea that they could be anything less than loyal was simply unbearable. I was in denial, clinging to the comfortable illusion of my happy life, even as cracks began to spiderweb across its perfect surface. The truth, when it finally hit, would be far more brutal than any nightmare I could have ever imagined. The truth crashed down on me not like a wave, but like a tsunami, sweeping away everything I thought I knew about my life. It began with an innocuous-looking email from our mortgage lender. It was a standard update, but one sentence froze me. Your property at 145 Elm Street is currently listed for auction. Auction? Our dream home? My heart slammed against my ribs. Liam and I had no plans to sell, let alone auction our home. We were getting married in 3 months. This had to be a mistake, a clerical error of monumental proportions. I immediately called Liam, my hands trembling so violently I almost dropped the phone. He answered, his voice uncharacteristically terse. Liam, what is this email about the house being auctioned? I demanded, my voice rising with panic. There was a pause, a pregnant silence that stretched for an eternity. Then he sighed, a sound of weary resignation, as if I was the one causing the problem. Sophia, he said, his voice flat, I needed to liquidize some assets. The market is great right now. It's for our future. Liquidize? Our house? Without telling me? I choked out, tears stinging my eyes. How could you sell our home without discussing it with me? It's our biggest asset. Our future. What about the wedding funds? His voice hardened. It's done, Sophia. The papers were signed weeks ago. Your signature wasn't strictly necessary as the primary borrower, and I have power of attorney for joint assets. It was a financial decision. You're too emotional about these things. The cold, clinical tone, the sheer audacity of his words, made my stomach clench. Power of attorney? Since when? I whispered, my world tilting. I vaguely remembered signing some financial documents years ago, part of setting up our joint investments, but I certainly didn't recall anything that would give him unilateral control over our largest asset. He had deliberately misled me, using a legal loophole to bypass my consent. Before I could fully process the shock of the house, another, far more devastating blow landed. A text message intended for Liam popped up on his phone screen while it was on our coffee table. It was from Chloe. "Can't wait for our trip next week, babe. Just finalized the plans for our new place. So glad she's out of the picture." Babe? New place? Trip? My eyes fixated on the words, then darted to the photo attached. It was a selfie, Chloe, smiling radiantly, her head nestled against Liam's shoulder. They were on a beach, a private, secluded cove I had always dreamed of visiting with Liam on our honeymoon. The wedding was in 3 months, but they were already planning a new place and a trip. The pieces of the puzzle, once scattered and seemingly unrelated, suddenly clicked into place with horrifying clarity. The distant behavior, the hushed calls, the unusual withdrawals from our joint account, the secrecy around the house sale. It wasn't just about financial decisions. It was a deliberate, calculated act of betrayal designed to strip me of everything. My fiancé, the man I was supposed to marry, was having an affair with my best friend, the woman I considered my sister. They were not just selling my house, they were selling my life, liquidizing my future to fund their new life together. The pain was physical, a sharp, searing agony that ripped through my chest. My vision blurred with tears, but behind them a cold, unwavering fury began to ignite. They thought they had left me with nothing. They were wrong. They had left me with a burning desire for absolute, undeniable justice. The initial wave of devastation left me hollowed out, lying on the cold floor of our, now their, dream home. But that profound agony quickly curdled into a chilling clarity. Liam and Chloe had committed the ultimate betrayal, a dual assault on my heart and my future. They thought they had erased me, left me powerless. They were gravely mistaken. My grief became my fuel, my anger my precision tool. I was an architect. I understood foundations, structures, and how to systematically dismantle them. Their edifice of lies was about to crumble. My first step was to harness a skill I had developed years ago, a meticulous attention to detail cultivated in my professional life. Months prior, as a safety precaution after a series of neighborhood break-ins, I had installed a sophisticated, discreet home security system. It included motion-activated cameras, door and window sensors, and, crucially, an advanced audio monitoring feature. What Liam and Chloe didn't realize was that I had configured a specific setting, continuous, low-bandwidth audio recording, encrypted and uploaded to a personal, off-site cloud server that only I could access. I also had access to Liam's car as we shared it for commuting. Weeks earlier, concerned by his evasiveness, I had slipped a tiny, long-life GPS tracker into his spare tire well, an old habit from a brief stint volunteering for a missing persons charity. These devices, once installed for security or curiosity, now became my silent, omnipresent witnesses. I spent the next few days holed up in what used to be my home office, sifting through the data. The sheer volume was overwhelming, but the truth emerged, horrifyingly clear. The audio recordings captured hushed conversations, giggles, and blatant confessions between Liam and Chloe, detailing their affair, their plans to sell the house, and their cruel remarks about my supposed naivete. The GPS data precisely mapped Liam's work meetings at Chloe's apartment, tracking their clandestine rendezvous. It was sickening, a visceral punch to the gut with every new discovery. But amidst the pain, a cold, hard determination solidified. This was not just emotional betrayal, it was financial fraud, a meticulously planned scheme to steal my assets. I would not only expose their affair, but also their illegal dealings. I also discovered more damning financial evidence. While going through old shared files, I found a meticulously detailed spreadsheet Liam had created for our joint investments. But there was a hidden tab, protected by a password I easily guessed, my own birthday. This tab revealed a secret account, opened in both their names, into which Liam had systematically diverted funds from our joint investment portfolio, specifically those marked for our wedding. This wasn't just betrayal. This was premeditated theft, using my trust as a weapon. Every piece of evidence, every recorded word, every financial transaction became a brick in the wall of their inevitable downfall. The more I uncovered, the clearer their depravity became, and the stronger my resolve to make them pay for every single lie. With my digital arsenal fully loaded, I began the meticulous preparation for their public unveiling. Liam and Chloe had chosen to conduct the auction of our dream home through a high-profile real estate firm known for its televised auctions and online streaming events. They craved the public eye, the validation of their new beginning. Their arrogance was my greatest asset. They thought their sale was a triumph. I would ensure it was their stage for ultimate humiliation. I knew the final auction would be live-streamed, a perfect, inescapable platform for my revenge. My strategy was multifaceted. First, I created an anonymous, professionally designed website. It was stark, minimalist, and contained nothing but a countdown timer. Below the timer, a single, ominous sentence read, "The truth behind 145 Elm Street and the real cost of betrayal will be revealed." I then discreetly shared this link with a few trusted, influential contacts in both the real estate and media industries, under the guise of an unusual property dispute that might interest them. I knew word would spread, intriguing enough to draw attention, but vague enough to keep my identity and the precise nature of the reveal a secret. I wanted them to be curious, to tune in, to witness the unraveling. Simultaneously, I prepared a synchronized digital bombardment. I compiled the most damning snippets from the audio recordings, Chloe's contemptuous laughter as she discussed getting rid of Sophia, Liam's smug satisfaction over the house sale proceeds, their illicit plans for the stolen funds. I also gathered screenshots of the GPS data, clearly showing Liam's repeated visits to Chloe's apartment at odd hours. Crucially, I prepared a side-by-side comparison of the official house sale documents and their secret financial dealings, highlighting the discrepancies and the diverted funds. These pieces of evidence were packaged into a compelling, short video presentation, timed to automatically upload and be pushed to my anonymous website and select news outlets at the exact moment the auction gavel would fall on our house. Chloe, meanwhile, was basking in her new status. She posted glowing updates on social media about her new direction and her exciting personal ventures, subtly hinting at a new romance and ignoring my attempts to contact her. Liam, too, seemed to flourish, his real estate deals seemingly booming. He even reached out to me once, a cold, formal message asking if I had found a new place to live, feigning concern. His words dripped with condescension. Their blatant disregard for my pain, their open celebration of their betrayal, only fueled my determination. They had climbed to the peak of their stolen happiness. Now it was time for their precipitous fall. The countdown on my website ticked closer to 0, a silent promise of impending doom. The days leading up to the auction were a blur of calculated moves and heightened anticipation. My heart pounded with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. I was putting everything on the line, but the thought of their smug faces, their triumphant smiles, spurred me forward. I double-checked every detail: the timing of the video upload, the accuracy of the website's countdown, the encryption of the data. There could be no room for error. This was their public execution, meticulously planned and perfectly executed. My final trap involved a seemingly innocuous detail: the auction's live stream comment section. Most live streams have delayed comments to prevent spam, but this particular auction house used a third-party, real-time comment system to encourage immediate viewer engagement. I had discovered a minor vulnerability in its API during my extensive research, a way to inject a pre-scheduled, authenticated comment that would appear instantly. I prepared a single, powerful message designed to hit hard and immediately redirect curious viewers. It would be a simple, yet devastating question, pointing to the anonymous website and inviting viewers to discover the real truth. This comment would appear just as the gavel struck for the final time. On the day of the auction, I arrived early, dressed inconspicuously, blending into the crowd of onlookers. I found a seat near the back, observing Liam and Chloe in the front row. They were inseparable, their heads close, whispering and smiling, occasionally glancing at the screen displaying our house, their faces alight with a triumphant glow. Their callous indifference to my suffering was palpable, a chilling testament to their depravity. My hands, clammy with nerves, gripped my phone beneath my coat, ready for the signal. The auction began, a rapid-fire succession of bids for various properties. Each sold felt like a punch, a reminder of what I had lost. As the auctioneer finally turned to 145 Elm Street, the tension in the room became almost unbearable. Bids quickly escalated, fueled by the property's prime location and unique design. Liam and Chloe watched with bated breath, their smiles widening with each higher offer. I watched them, my face expressionless, but my mind a whirlwind of anticipation. The bidding reached its peak, a dizzying sum. The auctioneer's voice boomed, going once, going twice. This was it. My thumb hovered over the activation button on my phone. My anonymous website was live, the video awaiting release, the comment ready to inject. My pulse throbbed in my ears. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the moment. Sold. To the gentleman in the back row. The gavel came down with a resounding, final crack. At that exact, deafening moment, my thumb pressed down. In the live stream's comment section, which was displayed on a smaller auxiliary screen to the side of the main stage, a single, bold comment instantly appeared, overriding the usual congratulatory remarks. Is this property sale legitimate? Discover the real truth behind 145 Elm Street here, your anonymous website link. A ripple of confusion spread through the auction room. People, alerted by the sudden flash on the side screen, began pulling out their phones, typing in the anonymous website address. Simultaneously, the pre-scheduled video I had meticulously prepared went live, uploaded to the website, and simultaneously pushed to the media contacts I had pre-briefed. On the main auction screen, which was now showing the sold notification, a subtle, almost imperceptible glitch occurred. The vibrant photograph of our house began to pixelate, then slowly distort, until it was replaced by a series of images flashing rapidly across the screen. These weren't professional real estate photos. These were screenshots of Liam's hidden financial accounts, clearly showing transfers to Chloe. These were GPS tracking maps displaying Liam's work, trips directly to Chloe's apartment. These were transcripts of their private, damning text messages, overlaid with timestamps. And then, the audio began. It started subtly, a low hum, then Liam's unmistakable voice, caught on my discreet home recording system, clear as day. Sophia won't suspect a thing, he chuckled, the sound chillingly close. She's so trusting. This house sale will set us up perfectly for our new life. Then Chloe's voice, equally cold and calculating, and her credit is so good, Liam. She's practically funding our future. What a naive fool. A collective gasp swept through the room. Murmurs erupted, then outright gasps of shock and disgust. People in the audience, already looking at their phones, were now seeing the full, devastating video on my anonymous website. Whispers of fraud and cheaters rippled through the room. The CEO of the auction house, initially confused, now stood frozen, his eyes wide with horror as he watched the public implosion of what was supposed to be a prestigious sale. Liam and Chloe, who had been basking in their triumph, suddenly spun around, their faces paling as they registered the sudden, chilling shift in the room's atmosphere. They saw the auxiliary screen, the website link, the horrified faces of the crowd, then glanced at each other, their eyes wide with dawning terror. The audio from the main screen continued to play their damning confessions, echoing through the now-silent ballroom. Mark's face was a mask of utter horror and dawning realization. He looked directly at me, his eyes wide with disbelief and a cold, murderous rage. He knew I had done this. My revenge was complete. Their meticulously constructed world of lies had just shattered, spectacularly, live for everyone to witness. The chaos that ensued in the auction room was immediate and absolute. Liam and Chloe were swarmed, not by well-wishers, but by furious auction house executives, potential buyers demanding answers, and media representatives who had descended like vultures. The CEO, his face scarlet with rage and humiliation, immediately announced the cancellation of the house sale due to undisclosed irregularities and severe contractual breaches. Liam and Chloe were escorted out of the room, their faces ashen, their whispers of protest lost in the cacophony of accusations. Their public triumph had dissolved into public shame. The fallout was swift and far-reaching. The anonymous website, now filled with the undeniable evidence of their fraud and betrayal, went viral. News outlets picked up the story within hours, transforming Liam and Chloe into national symbols of deceit and treachery. Liam's real estate career imploded. His licenses were suspended, his professional reputation irrevocably destroyed. He faced multiple lawsuits from the auction house, from the unsuspecting buyer, and from the state for financial fraud. Chloe, equally disgraced, lost her high-profile marketing job, her clients, and her entire professional network. Her social media profiles were flooded with condemnation, her once pristine reputation utterly shattered. They had no future left together, nor separately. Their ill-gotten gains from the house sale were frozen, then seized, as legal battles ensued, leaving them financially ruined, exactly as they had left me. As for me, Sophia Miller, the broken-hearted victim, I found my voice and my strength. The overwhelming public support, the torrent of messages from strangers offering solidarity, was a healing balm. I worked closely with legal teams, providing all my meticulously gathered evidence. While the emotional scars of betrayal would undoubtedly take time to heal, I emerged from the ashes of my shattered life, not only vindicated but empowered. I eventually recovered a significant portion of my lost assets, enough to rebuild my life on my own terms. This harrowing experience taught me a powerful lesson. True betrayal runs deeper than just breaking promises. It seeks to dismantle your very existence. But it also showed me the profound strength that lies within us when pushed to the brink. When faced with such profound injustice, methodical preparation, undeniable truth, and quiet resilience can dismantle even the most audacious deceptions. Their greed had led them to believe they could get away with anything. They had underestimated the quiet woman who simply refused to be a victim.